Rancherland in Lenox, Alabama. Tonight we're going to do Whack an Atheist on Wednesday night. Got the red shirt, well, sort of red. I like the dinosaurs on it, brother. That's cool. Yeah, we're like dinosaurs around here. Bible says God made everything in 6 days. Everything. Dinosaurs lived with Adam and Eve. Okay, let's see, we're on a bunch of channels. You can get them all on drdino.com. D-R-D-I-N-O. On Brighton, and that's the one that has the stuff about the legal thing, right? Brighton. Yeah. On any questions about my case and the jail time and all, they go to Brighton and watch that video. We're an old-fashioned, independent, temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, radical, chicken-eating Baptist church. Stephen Hawking said, I regard the brain as a computer which will stop working when its components fail. There is no heaven or afterlife for broken down computers. That is a fairy tale for people afraid of the dark. I bet he knows different now, doesn't he? Yeah, same. We're in Lenox, Alabama, straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles. How far did you guys come to bring us the bales of hay?
We'll travel about 3,700 miles.
3,700 miles from the North Pole?
Almost do the Grand Tour.
Oh, the Grand Tour. Okay, well, thank you, brother. Thank you. We've been selling off some of our cows and sheep just because we can't feed them, you know, and yeah, so thank you, brother. All right, let's see. We think God ought to get the glory. So let's see. Crazy weather. We didn't have any hay, and these guys brought a bunch for us. Thank you. Thank you. Saved our hide. Saved our cows. Okay. Tonight, A.J. Patterson. We debated him last night. Oh, he didn't want me to use his last name. Erase that from your memory. Okay. He claimed that Gill slits are still evidence for evolution. We're going to talk about that tonight. I told him I would dissect his first 10 minutes of speech and try to show the truth about that. Okay. Let's see. Help us stay open for free. Join our 777 Club if you're a member. If you have any questions about it, call Sandra, my wife, secretary, at 855-BIG-DINO, extension 1. And she can answer any questions. We are never charged anything to people to come here for 8 years now. No, let's see, almost 7.93 years. I figured it up a few minutes ago. So we do this because people love the Lord, want to help us keep going for free. Whack an Atheist Wednesday is based on the whack-a-mole game, where they stick their head up and you whack it back down. How many have ever played whack-a-mole before? We need to get one of those games for here, don't we? I mean, like the real the one they use at arcades. Yeah, okay. It's a game, they stick their head up and whack them back down, sweetly in Christian love. It's fast, it's fun. The goal is to see how fast you can whack them down. Children love to play it, adults love to play it. Well, Whack an Atheist is very similar. We wait for them to stick their head up and say something dumb, like they've got evidence that they're related to a potato, and we whack them back down, okay? A few of them learn to keep their head down. Well, Simon Dan does really good on flat earthers. But once in a while, he's still got to pick on creationists. Simon Dan, I'm going to have to whack you again one of these days. There is no evidence for your dumb religion of evolution. None. But tonight, you get a break. Don't get to whack you. Okay, I taught high school 15 years. I know how to whack over and over. You got to teach the same thing over and over. I quite enjoy it. So tonight, the winner is AJ, won't say his last name. Okay? They do all kinds. His whole show is about me. The only reason anybody heard of him is because he gets after me all the time. Okay? He's riding on my coattails. He did a show called Whack a Shyster. There's got me on the ground and all these guys, the guy with the black hat and the face, what's his name? Logicked. I didn't know. Somebody told me he did a whole series about my video series, claiming he debunked it. I haven't seen it yet. It's like 5 years ago or something. If you think so, anything he brought up, let me know. Give my whole video series $50, 18 hours for the whole thing, and make all the copies you want and give them away to your friends. Don't sell them. Okay, so let's go to what Mr. AJ Blank, no last name, said about last night in the debate. Is that it? Right there. No? Hang on, got to do this. I got too many buttons open on my, oh, right there. Okay, let's do something. Hit play. Can't see the buttons. Ah, look at that. Well, praise God. Okay. Here goes Mr. AJ, no last name.
We're just going to jump right into it. We've got opening statements, 10 minutes. Again, the topic, evidence for evolution, but specifically the question, does embryology prove evolution? And so, AJ, we are going to hand it right over to you for 10 minutes. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Donnie, for hosting this, and thank you, Ken, for taking the time. So this debate is going to be about a topic of embryology. Is it evidence for evolution? And also Ernst Haeckel. So just getting into a biography of Haeckel. He was German, And he had many titles, the most relevant being that he was a zoologist, he was a zoology professor, he was a naturalist, and he was a great artist. And he discovered many thousands of new species, he mapped the tree of life, and he coined many terms of biology that we still use today, like ecology, phylum, phylogeny, and even Kent's favorite, the protista. So Kent can thank Haeckel every time he mentions the protist from now on. He taught at the University of Jena in 1862 because he was a zoology professor, not an embryology professor. And he developed the no longer widely held nor taught recapitulation theory, which is ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny, which...
That's a fancy phrase. Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. He made up that phrase. What that means is, as the baby's growing inside the mother, it goes through the stages of evolution: fish, amphibian, reptile, mammal. And in ontogeny, the growth of the baby recapitulates or reenacts phylogeny, the whole evolution theory. This is real stupid, but he invented that phrase. Well, man, if he invented a phrase that we use today, that means he's got to be important, okay? Got to be important. He invented the idea that as the baby grows in the mother, it starts off like a fish, and then becomes an amphibian, and then becomes a reptile, then becomes a mammal. I believe it's human the moment it's conceived, okay? Instantly, not anything else. But he made up the phrase, so give him some credit, okay?
I'm going to talk about that more in my next slide. And he published drawings of different species of vertebrate animals in their embryonic state. Now, these drawings are...
This is critical. He published pictures. He was an artist, an excellent artist, okay? He published pictures of these animals as they're developing inside the mother at different stages of their life. And as we'll see, he lied, okay? But AJ wants to defend him anyway.
Have been very controversial. You could call them really the most controversial photos in the history of science. So ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny versus evo-devo. So another term for
Evo-devo, evolutionary development. There is no evolution, AJ. Nothing changes to a different kind of animal. Nothing. There's no evidence for your religion at all. Give it up. I wish you guys would. That's okay. I'll help you. I'm here to help, okay? Call 855 Big Dino Extension 3. We will counsel you and try to get you out of that cult you're in of evolution.
For this is the biogenetic law. So this is a debunked and outdated idea that Haeckel proposed. And it's basically the idea that an organism's embryonic development will take it through each of the adult stages of its evolutionary history or its phylogeny. So Haeckel took this idea way too far when he claimed that vertebrate embryos literally become fish in the womb of mammals.
Wait a minute. He's saying this biogenetic law has been debunked. But you watch. In the biology books, they still use it. I got a whole flock of them here. I don't know how many biology. We went through a bunch today. Just for you, Mr. Patterson. I mean, AJ. Okay.
However, evo-devo is a scientific field of evolutionary development. It's a field of biological research concerned with how changes in the embryonic development during single gestation relate to the evolutionary changes that occur between generations, or basically the relationship between the evolution of an embryo in the womb versus the evolution of the entire species.
So you got two choices. It evolved in the womb or the whole species evolved. There's a third choice. It didn't evolve at all. You guys are incapable of even thinking outside your little box of evolution. You can't even think outside that box.
It only suggests that embryos are similar in their early stages, but then they become increasingly different until they develop into their adult form. Then they're obviously different, like an adult turtle and an adult pig are obviously different, but in the earliest stages of them being an embryo, they do look quite similar.
That's his whole argument. For the whole next hour and a half, whatever long this debate was, 2 hours, they look similar. Which means, you know, a bowling ball and a grape look similar? Don't they? That proves something to somebody somewhere. Let's just talk for a few minutes here in case we don't run out of time here. So I'm going to go to my PowerPoint slides that he objects to. Let's see. We're going to start with embryology. No, not that one. Let's see. Right here. This is what I've been covering for 35 years now about Haeckel's fraudulent drawings. And AJ's objection last night was that there was no trial at the University of Jena. We'll see. Here's a biology textbook. It says, many organisms have similarities in patterns of development are caused by common descent. No, they're not. This is a dogma statement. This is not a scientific statement. This is somebody preaching their religion in a science class. Let's blow it up here. These and many other similarities in patterns of development are caused by common descent. That's just a bold-faced lie. You don't know any such thing like that. Anteater and whale embryos have teeth because anteaters and whales evolved from organisms with teeth. This is just plain propaganda, folks. This is called stupid. I'll debate all these textbook authors any day of the week. Any day. Bring it up, okay? Similarly, humans and fish embryos resemble each other because humans and fish share a common ancestor. This is the propaganda that the kids get in school all the time, and it's supposed to be some kind of science. I got way too many books on top of my chart, brother. Hang on. One moment, folks. Praise God for live TV. They make these charts and put them in our kids' textbooks and say, boys and girls, did you know the sunflower and the frog and the human and the flamingo are all related to a common ancestor? This is what kids are taught. It's constant propaganda every day from kindergarten on about the family tree. Did you know you're related to a potato and a fish and a salamander? Look, yeah, look, what's the evidence for that? The embryos in the embryonic stage. That's the whole argument. Let's get on here now. They descended from a common ancestor. Darwin considered this idea of embryology, the strongest single class of facts in favor of his theory. Haeckel called it the biogenetic law. And AJ just said it's been disproven now. So it never was really a law, it's just simply a hypothesis, right? Here's a textbook telling the kids, evidence for evolution has come from studying the embryos of organisms. That's a lie. They say it has gills like a fish. This is simply not true. These little folds of skin under the jaw develop into different bones in the ear and glands in the throat. Never have anything to do with breathing. I've seen fat folks got 5 or 6 chins, they can't breathe through any of them. Some people have wrinkles in their elbow when they bend their arm. I bet they can't breathe through them either. Haeckel said the turning point in his thinking was when he read Darwin's book in 1860. These are the drawings of a dog embryo, meaning before it's born, preborn, at 4 weeks development, and a human embryo at 4 weeks. Dogs have 78 chromosomes. Humans have 46 chromosomes. AJ's argument is, well, they look similar. Well, Haeckel made them look similar. He faked the drawings, and he was an excellent artist. There's a fabulous article, been out on this, I'll show you in a minute, for a long time, showing all the different details of things he changed and faked. And all the things Dr. Richardson, who gave the photographs I'll show in a minute, how he tries to rescue Haeckel by fudging the drawings again. That's a great article, isn't it, Joseph? Yeah, okay, thank you. The head was increased, the head was decreased in one, the eyeballs changed, the posterior length was doubled. Haeckel's doctored drawings of a dog and human embryo. So AJ, if they look similar, even if the photographs look similar, they have different number of chromosomes. You don't get it. A bowling ball and a grape and an olive look similar too. That's not evidence of any similarity or common ancestry. How about, I know you're going to say bowling balls don't reproduce. Okay, the olive and the grape look similar, don't they? What other fruits look similar? A tomato, wow. An apple. Anything else kind of round like that? Can you think of any? Yeah, orange. Oh, I never thought. What? Onion? Yeah. Can't tell the difference between an onion and an orange. Nobody can tell the difference. Here we go. There's Haeckel's fake drawings on the bottom. Haeckel made these big charts of his fake drawings, and it really traveled all over the world and became, still to this day, is used as evidence for evolution. Let's see. Fish have anywhere from 25 to 104 chromosomes. They're wildly different in their chromosome number. Salamanders have 14, and there's a lot to learn about 14, about the salamander chromosome. Study that one. The turtle has 56 chromosomes. The chicken has 78. The rabbit has 44, and the human has 46. Let's see, one day ago today, these chromosomes are large linear DNA molecules combined within the cell nucleus. The current version of the human reference genome includes 1 copy of each of the autosomes plus 1 copy of the 2 sex chromosomes, X and Y. The total amount of DNA is 3.1 billion base pairs. This is the code to make you. And that code has to be copied over and over and over again. The copying process is amazing in itself. We've covered that many times on our channel about how it's impossible for the DNA to replicate itself, these chromosomes, and that happened by chance. It's just not possible. If I told you you could drop 3.1 billion Scrabble letters on the floor and it would spell out the Webster's Dictionary, you say, come on, no way, that'll never happen. That's right. You'd have to be an idiot to believe such a thing. All right, let's see. So here's what I said that AJ objected to. I said, when tried by the Jena University court, he confessed and said a small percentage of my embryonic drawings are forgeries. Namely for which the observed material is so incomplete and insufficient to fill in and reconstruct the missing links by hypothesis. This is from Dr. Edward Blick, Blick Engineering, Norman, Oklahoma. I tried to call him today, but I called too late. I'll try to get a hold of him. This is from, he says, from the records of the University of Jena trial. And AJ said they've never found the records of that trial. Well, that may be true. He said, Hovind, will you stop saying there was a trial? Because you don't know it's true. Well, AJ, will you stop saying you're related to all these animals because you don't know that's true either. You believe it's true. I believe there was a trial. I believe he was convicted. I believe that. Right now, I don't have the evidence, but I'm getting close. There's going to be some. But this is stuff you believe, and you won't admit it's your religion. You won't admit you believe it. You want it taught like it's a fact. And you want me to pay to have all the kids taught this stuff. Well, I'm going to object to that till I die and keep objecting after I die because my videos are going to go everywhere. You know, if I die, they'll go viral, won't they? Yeah. It's not worth it. I'm going to stay alive. Okay, here we go. Haeckel said, according to Edward Blick, I should feel utterly condemned were it not that hundreds of the best observers and biologists lie under the same charge. This article in creation.com, Joseph sent this to me. Somebody sent it to you, right?
Yes, sir.
This is from, 10 years ago? 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Okay. Countering Revisionism, Part 1. Ernst Haeckel, Fraud is Proven. This is by E. van Niekerk. Okay. Jonathan said, somebody asked him at the bottom of this article, there's question and answer. Okay. Jonathan said, didn't the German scientific community acknowledge Haeckel's fraud way back in the day? I recall reading that it was well established 100 years ago. In other words, the fraud was well established. Here's the answer from E. van Niekerk. Yes, there were a number of scientists in Haeckel's day who became staunch critics of his work. It started with the Swiss anatomist and paleontologist Ludwig Hardname and continued with scientists such as great anatomist William Hiss, a zoologist named Arnold Brass, and some of his former teachers like Rudolf Virchow and Albert von Kolliker. Unfortunately, Haeckel won over the newer generation of lay people and scientists alike. So it is true that his own colleagues and his former teachers and people who knew the material at the time, they did not agree. Now, whether there was a trial, I didn't find that out yet, AJ. Thank you for pointing it out. I will be honest. I will try to say from now on, I have heard there was a trial. I don't know. I'd like you to be honest from now on and say, I believe I'm related to a sunflower. Would you just say, I believe it? I don't have any proof, but I believe it. Just be honest, okay? Here we go. 2009, Robert John Richards was invited by our Friedrich Schiller University in Jena to speak in the context of the some colloquium. The title of his lecture was, I think, Ernest von Haeckel was he a fraudster, a forger? That's in German. I attended the lecture and was amazed at revisionist selective methods used to rehabilitate Ernst Haeckel. See, when you look up the evidence for evolution in most biology books, it'll give, embryology is always one of them. I'm always asking people in a debate, what's the evidence for evolution? They'll say fossils, embryology, and it's always one of the 3 or 4 best evidences. And if you take this one away, they're going to panic because this is one of the ones they depend on. Okay, so was he a forger? I attended the lecture and was amazed by revisionist selective methods. Even though it's been proven that Haeckel lied, they're still trying to resurrect it. Even Richardson, who took the photographs in 98 that showed clearly he was different, Richardson had doctored his photographs, trying to rescue Haeckel, maybe to rekeep his job, at the hospital, I don't know. The lecture was held in our planetarium, and many elderly, accomplished professors from Jena, who know Ernst Haeckel's legacy best, were in attendance. As Mr. Richards presented the case, these professors moaned and grumbled repeatedly at his far-fetched and futile attempts to whitewash the work and legacy of Haeckel. Somebody said it's pronounced Haeckel. I don't care. Okay, he's dead. All right. I have a friendship with a zoologist who is one of the overseers of the museum that dedicated to evolutionary studies, founded by Haeckel. And even he has called Haeckel a con man. This is the guy who runs the museum, started by Haeckel. Okay. So was there a trial? I haven't found out yet, AJ, but I'll keep looking, all right? During the Q&A time, after the lecture, I questioned Mr. Richards about a number of inconsistencies between his lecture and historical facts. He simply dodged the questions and became very irate. Afterwards, he refused to speak with me and went to great lengths to avoid me. This is just another attempt by adherents to the theory of evolution to misrepresent history, similar to the faulty presentation of the famous Scopes monkey trial, okay? Here's at the bottom in the Q&A, same article, okay? I remember those drawings proving how similar embryos developed from my high school textbooks. I'm really wondering now if I learned anything useful in these biology lessons back then, or was it all nonsense? And history repeats itself. Watch this. My 8-year-old son came home from school explaining how we developed from fish to monkeys, etc. They watched a movie about it in school. Takes a lot of time to explain, correct such things to him. Unfortunately, time is on the side of the teachers. In both cases, the schools had a Christian foundation. So hope they did not do this on purpose. Does it make sense to confront teachers with such mistakes in the books, or will they just think you're crazy? Let's see, University of Cambridge. AJ said they're not teaching this anymore. Here we go. Haeckel's embryos, the images that would not go away. A new book tells for the first time the extraordinary story of the drawings. The artist was accused of fraud, but copied and recopied his images, gaining iconic status as evidence of evolution. Some of the best-known illustrations in biology were challenged as forgeries soon after their publication 140 years ago in books by the German Darwinist Ernst Haeckel. Hundreds of attacks placed them among the most controversial scientific images. So way back when it was done, the people who were with him were attacking his drawings. So AJ, was there a trial? I don't know yet. I'll find out. Believe me, I'll dig into it. If any of you are in Germany, you can go to Jenna, do some digging for me, find out. Was there a trial? Is there a record of the actual trial? Because I've heard from a couple other sources that there was, but I don't have firsthand documentation. So any of you Germans over there, if you can help me, please, okay? Let's see. In Haeckel's Embryos, Images and Fraud, published by University of Chicago, Dr. Nick Hopman tells the full story for the first time. He tracks the drawings and the charges against them from their genesis in the 19th century to the present day. He recaptures the shocking novelty of pictures that enthralled school children and outraged priests, and highlights the remarkable ways these images continued to shape knowledge as they aged. Let's see, this is from Cambridge University. Hopewood investigates copying as the way an image gains life of its own and becomes embedded in a field. Trouble started when Haeckel was accused, among other things, of miscopying standard figures. Then copying released the images from his books and from many variants selected one canonical form. Controversy sparked when the copying of the images intersected with the repetition of the forgery charges. Okay, New Scientist did an article about it. How fudged embryo illustrations led to drawn-out lies. New Scientist, okay? It's embarrassing but true. Some of the most influential drawings in the history of biology are wrong, exaggerated to fit a thesis. People would lie to cover their religion? Oh, AJ, nobody would do that, would they? Yeah, okay. Haeckel wanted to convince his readers that all vertebrates shared a common ancestry. Vertebrate means they have a backbone, okay? And that is, as he put it, ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Our embryonic development repeats our evolutionary past. This aphorism was soon disproved, but the use of Haeckel's drawings persisted, particularly in education. There were waves of criticism from the 1870s, when the drawings were published, up to 1997, as Haeckel's fraud was rediscovered and exploited by creationists. In his sumptuous book, Nick Hopewood, a science historian, explains how and why Haeckel made his drawings, and the use made of them since. His clever detective work takes him into the Haeckel archives in the German town of Jena, discovering the original drawings and even the woodblocks. On the other end of the story, he explores how Haeckel's drawings appeared in post-war textbooks in the UK and the US. Stunning illustrations show the way the images have been copied and reinterpreted from the late 19th century. So let's see, Scott F. Gilbert, author in the 1985 development biology textbook, inadvertently used Haeckel's drawings. So are they still being used? Let's see, this is from Arizona State University. In the decades after Haeckel's publication of the biogenetic law, which has been disproven, hasn't it? Other biologists struggled to recreate Haeckel's results. Franz, somebody with a hard name, a student of Wilhelm His and a professor of anatomy at the University in Strasbourg, France, tried to recreate Haeckel's drawings from his own specimens and concluded that Haeckel had exaggerated the similarity between embryos in his drawings. Keibel then therefore rejected the biogenetic law and labeled it as an exaggeration of the truth in 1897. Keibel published his conclusion in the first volume of some German name here, okay? Let's see. Read it for yourself. Evolution News did an article about it. Haeckel's fraudulent embryo drawings are still present in biology textbooks. Here's a list. Somebody made a list of all the books that still use Haeckel's drawings. Wow. Let's see. This list, or perhaps nearly all, this list known examples of textbooks in recent memory that use Haeckel's drawings. Our colleague's email provides an occasion for doing so. Thus, what follows are examples of the textbooks that show embryo drawings that are either Haeckel's originals or highly similar or nearly identical versions of Haeckel's illustrations. Drawings that downplay and misrepresent the differences among early stages of vertebrate embryos. Are textbooks that have used these drawings as evidence for current evolutionary theory, and not simply to provide some kind of historical context, okay? These textbooks have used Haeckel's-based drawings to overstate the actual similarities between early embryos, like you did, AJ, overstate the similarities, which is the key misrepresentation by Haeckel, even if the textbooks do not completely endorse them. These are textbooks by, here's the list. Donald Protho, still using it. Let's see. Donald Protho is a paleontologist, geologist, science writer, lecturer who taught college geology and paleontology for 35 years at Caltech and a couple other places, okay? He has earned a BA in geology and biologist, the highest honors, etc. Okay, there he is. So he's still using it in his Bringing Fossils to Life. Why would he use embryology as evidence in a book about fossils? Well, okay. Here's some books that he wrote. Let's see, Inquiry into Life, Human Biology, biology textbook on the right, okay? Sylvia Mader has written quite a few books, author, okay? Very prolific biology author. Sylvia Mader, see your friends have read any of Sylvia Mader's books. Okay, let's see. She wrote these books. These are books that Sylvia Mader is the author of. Very prolific, writing on the topic of biology. What's her evidence for evolution? Well, let's see. Evidence for evolution. Embryological development. All vertebrate embryos have a post-anal tail and paired pharyngeal gill pouches. AJ, contact Sylvia and say, stop it. You're lying or you're stupid, and I'll debate her or anybody else. She is still using in her textbooks the idea that they have gill pouches. Used the word gill, didn't she? Okay, this is evidence for evolution. Embryological development. All vertebrate embryos have a post-anal tail and paired pharyngeal gill pouches. Let's see, we have Peter Raven. Well, he's a prolific author too. Peter Raven, a world-renowned plant biologist. What kind of gills do plants have? Okay. Raven holds honorary degrees from several universities, including University of Massachusetts, Gothenburg, Sweden, and Rutgers, and a bunch of places. So is it okay to have an honorary degree and call him doctor? AJ, would you call Raven Dr. Raven? I have 3 earned doctor's degrees and 1 honorary. You can call me Kent or Bubba or hey you. Back to the topic, and I won't mention your last name's Patterson. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Raven. Raven wrote this book, and this book, and this book. Raven. Name on the cover here. Here's the one they're showing on the screen here. 2020 edition of Raven's textbook. He's one of the authors here, the lead author. How many pages is this book? 1,300 and something, okay? Does Raven in the 2020, just a couple years ago, does he still use embryology? Well, here it is. Raven said, early embryonic development shows similarities in some groups. Some of the strongest anatomical evidence supporting evolution comes from comparisons of how organisms develop. Embryos of different types of vertebrates, for example, often are similar early on, but become more different as they develop. Early in their development, vertebrate embryos possess pharyngeal pouches. In humans, for example, they become various glands and ducts. In fish, they turn into gill slits. So he is using the idea of embryology in his book, right here. You can come by and see it. Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. We'll give you the tour. Here it is right here on page 454. Embryonic development, evidence for evolution. So nobody's using that anymore. Well, Raven is. Somebody ought to straighten him out, okay? Let's see. Creation.com did this great article about it. Ernst Haeckel, proven false. Let's see. As early as 25 days old, the human embryo already displays a clear pericardial bulge where the heart's going to be, soon becoming a heart bulge. This was all changed. Even Richardson changed the drawings to try to rescue Haeckel, okay? Let's see, who else does this? Joseph Raver, C.C. Starr. I've got a lot of these books by these authors right here in my library. You can come see them. AJ, come spend a couple days. We'll get you converted, okay? Holt, but these are the books that this person listed as still teaching embryology. They're still teaching it as evidence for evolution. Casey Luskin wrote the article, associate director and senior fellow at Center for Science and Culture, is a geologist and an attorney with a graduate degree in science and law, giving him expertise in both the scientific and legal dimensions of the debate. Earned his PhD in geology from University of Johannesburg, South Africa, and BS and MS from Earth Sciences from the University of California, San Diego. He studied evolution extensively at both graduate and undergraduate levels. His law degree from University of San Diego. Is he qualified to make this list of books that still teach evolution? He's not qualified, yeah. He said, these are the books that are still teaching this gill slit stuff. You might want to take it up with him, okay, Casey. University of California. Review, Haeckel's embryos, images, evolution, and fraud. Wow, I'm calling it a fraud, that's pretty serious. Ernst Haeckel's fraudulent proofs of evolution may have helped cause the abortion that killed my baby, a victim of infanticide. Who was Ernst Haeckel? So I point out that in my seminar, and have for many years, and will continue to point out, that this whole idea of embryology proving evolution is wrong. It's a lie. It's based on a fraud. You understand, AJ? Whether there was a trial or not is a red herring, okay? You're trying to divert attention. The fact is, it's a fraud. Whether there was a trial or not. I'm going to find out if there was a trial. Anybody in Germany, please help me on this. Was there a trial? I'd like to get the court records. It wasn't actually a civil court. It was the university court, is what I heard. His own professors held a hearing or a trial to say, Haeckel, you're lying. That's I heard the story. The biogenetic law is as dead as a doornail. According to St. George Medical School, Richardson said, and he's the one trying to rescue Haeckel now. He wrote this article back in '97. He said, Haeckel confessed to drawing from memory and was convicted of fraud at the University of Jena. This is Dr. Richardson saying this. What would you like me to get, a better source? I think probably all the people involved in the trial in 1874 are probably dead by now. So I can't get them, but I'll try to get some records for you, AJ. But I collect public school textbooks. I've got hundreds of biology textbooks here from all kinds of publishers. They're still using the drawings. This is University of West Florida when I was living down there. I moved there in 1989 and got a debate at the University of West Florida with a professor. Got one of their biology textbooks. Sure enough, they're still teaching Haeckel's drawings. Exact same drawings. Didn't change a thing. This book, Icons of Evolution, covers it in great detail. Let's see. There's an Irish textbook when I was over there. It says, the presence of fish-like structures in embryos shows these animals have evolved from fish. Is that trying to get across the point that you tried to get across last night, Mr. BJ, that we did evolve through fish, amphibian, reptile, mammal? Do you believe the biogenetic disproven law, AJ? Do you believe man went through the fish stage and then the amphibian stage and then the reptile and mammal? How did we evolve? Did we come from a monkey? Where did the monkey come from? Where's the sequence of events? Where's the evidence for these dumb charts you guys want us to teach? I'm just asking for the evidence. Okay, I could go all night on this, but I've got, let's see, Raven textbook here and here, one of his earlier editions. This one, Glencoe Biology from the year 2000. We got them marked where they still teach the gill slits, okay? And still teach embryology as evidence for evolution. Because I know you guys are desperate for evidence, I understand. Because you have chosen to believe something really stupid. It's like these flat earthers, they're desperate for evidence for their flat earth theory. There we go, look at this. Gill slits, this is a 2000 textbook. Who's the author here? Oh, Geographic, okay. Glencoe Biology, look at that. Still got the gill slits on there. Oh well, okay, any questions or comments? Let me guess, crybaby. No? You know, evolution is a failure when evolution relies on Haeckel. Yeah, good point. Love the show and learning from Kent. Well, thank you. Please spread it around. Share it. Tell everybody about it. All chordates have the evolutionary remains of gill slits during embryo development. It's one of the requirements to be a chordate animal. You drank the Kool-Aid, didn't you, Justin? You don't get it at all. They do not have gill pouches. They have little folds of skin like you probably have in your elbow, okay? And maybe in your belly if you're fat, okay, when you bend over. You can't breathe through them. They're not gill pouches. They're not similar. They're folds of skin. You know, yesterday I got up in the morning and noticed our blanket, my wife and I, our bed, was all wrinkled up. Like, had these little folds in it. I tried to breathe through them. I nearly died. They don't get it. Okay. I have looked on Worldwide University of Jena. There's a lot of correspondence from Haeckel, over 5,000 letters. Many are locked. I assume these are the letters containing the trial. Please, everybody that want to help our ministry, get this nailed down. This is one of the 3 or 4 key evidences for evolution. I want to nail this one to the ground, okay? So if you can help me, unlock them. Call the university. Does it cost $50 to unlock your letters? Why would they lock a letter? What's about, you know, freedom of the press and, okay, let's see. Can't read it. Brainstorm.
This is just a book and page reference. He says that this book mentions the trial.
This book mentions the trial. Okay. Can you photocopy the pages and send it to me? Give me all the details, the reference, how to get a hold of the book and stuff like that. Because, let's see. Okay, bad influence. Kent, I heard in a debate that Orthodox Christians and Protestant Christians have a different Bible, and there are books in the Orthodox that were removed. Are your thoughts? I covered that topic of which Bible and why in great detail in video number 7, Creation Seminar Part 7, about why you better use a King James. We've been over that many times on my channel here. I don't want to take time tonight for that, but there are 2 different families of manuscripts. The NIV, the RSV, all these new Bible versions are good translations of the wrong book. They're translating the Alexandrian manuscript, and there's the problem. Go to avpublications.com and pray for Gail Ripplinger. I talked to her a couple of days ago. She's pretty sick still, but in bad health for quite a while. So Gail Ripplinger, great lady, did AV authorized version, publications.com. So pray for them and get her material, okay? We got a bunch of books we sell of hers and other people. They're over there on that desk about why you better use the King James, okay? More?
Couple more.
Question mark. You'll be happy to know there's one here, 27 people, all physics degrees, backed by at least 6 years of university, and they all young earth creationist. Well, yay. Anybody that is smart is going to become a young earth creationist, okay? If you have 2 brain cells to rub together and they work, you're going to believe. Now, I object to the term young earth creationist. 6,000 is not young. 6,000 is a long time. It's hard to think about, you know, Columbus trying to find this place 500 years ago. 500 years is a long time. I'll put an illustration real quick here, brother. Let's see. Where do I get seminar update? Okay. I use this illustration. People, big numbers like billions get lost in the human brain. Let me show you what it looks like here. Hang on. I got too many things open, brother. Might have to drag this one over too. No, drag this one back. Yeah, I'm going to quit with AJ here and drag him somewhere. Let's see. Oh, I shouldn't use the word drag. I'm sorry. Let's see. How do I get out of that? Drag that back over here. Forget it. Okay. One moment, folks. Just a minute. See, I was locked up for 9 years. I couldn't believe the stuff changed when I got out. They had electricity, running water. Unbelievable, all the stuff that changed. Let's see. Well, where did my chart go? Nope. It's either right there or it's somewhere else. I know that. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Okay. Slide number 217. Alt-DV. 217. Okay. Oh, no. 217, enter. There. Textbooks will say things like 13.8 billion years ago there was a Big Bang. How much is a billion? Well, let's put it in perspective. Here's a street in Boston. We're going to call this spot right here 2024. And every foot is going to represent 285 years. Okay? So you go back to where Columbus discovered America, right there, about one step ago. Okay? Jesus died 28 AD, Noah's flood 2400 BC, and the creation about 4000 BC. That's what 6,000 years looks like, halfway across the street. You got it? Here's what 13 billion looks like, from Japan to Boston. So halfway across the street is 6,000 years, and from Japan to Boston, and the Earth is round, by the way, represents 13.8 billion years. Each mile is 1.5 million years. This line shows the supposed age of the Earth. Every foot, 285 years. 24 years to the inch. Just going across the street in Boston, going to take you 10,000 years. And you want me to say, you want me to believe in billions of years? That is so ridiculous. Just going across America is about 3,000 miles. And they say the Earth began as a hot ball of rock 4.6 billion years ago. Well, that's what 4.6 billion looks like when halfway across the street is 6,000. They just don't get it. They just don't get it. In the Flintstones universe, there was a town called Kent Rocks. I wouldn't know. That's fine with me.
Sounds good. That's all I got, though.
I debated a bunch of guys one time from a group called the Brights. You know, they're supposed to be bright. They're the smart people. You know, they believe in evolution. So I showed them where in English the word Kent means bright. All right. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.